My clients would describe my style as eclectic, bold, colorful, fun, lots of personality. I think my clients hire me because I bring a really worldly or global kind of perspective. Part of my curiosity for the world and traveling has really connected me to the type of clients that I tend to attract. Beyond my professional title, I am a cook, I am a musician, I am an entrepreneur. I just love to travel. I originally wanted to be an opera singer, and that was my dream. I lived in Thailand and I designed a restaurant for a hotel, and that's how I actually fell into interior design. I think what's interesting about the personality of a home is really, it tells a story. Hi, my name is Peti Lau, and my firm is called Peti Lau Designs. My design firm is based in Los Angeles, in West Hollywood, right in the La Cienega Design Corner. So today we're here at my client's home in New York City. It's a beautiful high-rise up in Columbus Circle, so it overlooks the park, and this view is absolutely stunning. The client came to me, who's also a dear friend. Her personality is full of life. She is so creative and so joyful, and so she loves color. And so that was my way of trying to figure out, how do I incorporate the beauty of this crisp whiteness of being in a high rise and very contemporary, but bringing a lot of warmth and element and contemporary, but still making every space super cozy and inviting. I didn't want to have things that were too precious that people would feel not comfortable to sit in. Hi, welcome to one of my favorite projects overlooking Central Park in New York City. I like to create moments. So this is obviously very much a moment. This is done by Simon Johns, which is a beautiful furniture maker in Canada. You walk into this beautiful space and then you turn right and you see this beautiful teddy bear. The story behind this is that my client wasn't feeling well and her son ended up going to secretly surprising her with this bear from FOA Schwartz and walked it in the middle of dead hot summer New York City, and all of his friends carried it and showed up with this huge bear and surprised her. And then the kitchen is just a really beautiful, subtle, kind of a taupey gray. The island that separates the space where you can have, it's almost like the breakfast area. So we have to have formal dining, and obviously perfectly great paneled kitchen throughout. So this is the dining area. We had these beautiful sculptural chairs done in a stingray kind of a suede finish, but by Moores and Giles. And what's beautiful about this table is there's 2 leaves that live inside, so this table extends fully to a seating of 12. This is a beautiful light fixture, and it was one of the first earlier pieces that we selected. It's called The Bubbly by Lindsay Edelman, who is a fantastic lighting designer here in Brooklyn. I always say that lighting is a jewelry, and this is a perfect example of how you can take a beautiful light fixture like this and make it into a statement. Welcome to the beautiful living room space, all about this incredible view. All of the spaces I've really created is very much moments in the window. I layered it with a lot of really beautiful textures and colors, but yet still feel calm and really bring out the character of my client, who is full of life and full of personality. This sofa is from Resource. It's called the Flex Sofa. The beauty of these pieces are you could sit here, it could become a chaise lounge like what we've just done here, and you can really kind of sit back and get a beautiful view. If you want to keep the space open, this really lends itself to having the V shape and opening. I like that this part is the more contemporary sofas are more low, but I still wanted to add a really more traditional element and having a very typical sofa that lines this room. So this is a sofa that I custom designed with a really beautiful fabric that just kind of has this bold moment when you come in. I think this was a really nice way to introduce kind of the ombre dye of colors. It's a hand spray dyed fabric, which I love to use. You have an organic looking rug that's an unusual pattern. The coffee table's by Carl Springer. He really loved jewel tone colors, so how did I incorporate jewel tone colors with really calm, kind of seafoamy colors? And I think that's kind of what those bigger contemporary pieces are really speaking to. One designer tip that I like to use is I like to have my structure be very clean and has a very elegant kind of profile, but then I introduce a really beautiful fabric or a pop of color to kind of enhance the shape of the sofa. So it's not just a boring, rectilinear sofa, but add a little color, and so all of a sudden it has a different story. So this is a beautiful piece that my client had. It is a bar. It's literally the globe and then the tectonic plates. The secret to this beautiful cabinet is the little button right here. You press it and it's very magnetic and it pops open a beautiful cabinet for a bar. It even has a humidor for your cigars. How cool is that? So this is the family room, and my client loves books and loves to read and is an educator, and this was a beautiful white simple bookshelf that I wanted to build to kind of pull in this space. And so this is a moment where it really has her personality. We continued the wallpaper, the Phillips Jeffries wallpaper in the living room, because it is still the same space and you can see it even though it's separated by a glass. So I continued the wallpaper throughout, and then this is the Samsung TV, so it's a piece of art. This is where I built a custom designed sofa called Cuddle Puddle. So I designed a Cuddle Puddle sofa where you can have 4 to 6 people hang out here, watch TV, play board games. My absolute favorite finds were these beautiful Castle Wendell chairs. Not only the sculptural details, they also roll on wheels. And then the coolest part is this little piece right here that turns into a desk. Like, how cool is that? And so we put these chairs because this is a perfect moment for coffee in the morning and look out in the view. It's also great to look at sunset too and have a cocktail. I really wanted this space to be more earthy, and obviously having a really big, millwork piece, I use this kind of sagey color that's very light and very soothing, but it's also very earthy. And, using it with a very textured wallpaper, and then using a nice geographic rug to ground the space. The overall goal of this space was to really have it multifunctioning. It needed to operate as a desk, as an office, and then also a guest bedroom. And so we built out this full wall unit. This is a wall bed from Resource Furniture, and it's designed and fabricated in Italy. And so all the pieces came in compartments and we installed it. And so this is a really super comfortable bed inside of this unit. Ta-da! This is the awesome wall bed inside, and it has amazing foam mattress inside, which is super comfortable. I've actually slept in it myself, and it is really perfectly done. So let me show you some of the details of what I did in this bed that gave some customization that's quite fun. I did a nice detail and added a leather headboard inside. It's a nice custom feature that makes it feel a little bit more elevated and kind of a nice contrast with the color green. Little wand sconces that you can literally lift up and have a reading light for when you go to bed. So when everything's down, these lights come up. You can do custom colors and finishes, and I really wanted this space to be really support instead of all the white. I have a little bit more of a warmer tone color, so this sagey color is really quite pretty, and it's a nice way to kind of bring in the color of Central Park into the space. And these little details with the lights is a nice feature. So I work with my contractor where we installed electrical. I'm going to take you to my favorite part of the home, which is the bedroom. And so for me, I like to make my bedrooms really dark and cozy, and this is a perfect example of how I did that. This was a white box before, white leather wrapped closet doors, and so what I did was we created new doors, and we had this wrapped in a beautiful vinyl called eclectic, so it's like leather. We installed LED lighting inside of the closets, bought this beautiful dresser that kind of acts as an island, and it's perfect because you have the glass top, so you can kind of display all your beautiful collections of glasses and jewelry and fun stuff as a woman that you love to have. And then these are really beautiful details because it's covered in burgundy leather, so it just really kind of ties in with everything. This piece is a beautiful sculpturist. I found this piece at Dunzella at the New York Design Center. This beautiful light fixture that I did is actually a sconce, but I put it on the ceiling. Hand-blown glass with beautiful brass details, and it's designed by a female Mexican designer named Isabel Moncada. So this is the jewel box of the entire home. Everything is bright and light. And so here I really wanted to be a cocoon in the bedroom and make it super sexy and sultry and romantic and very luxe. We did a beautiful peacock wallpaper. It's all feathers, and it has an antique mirror. It has kind of almost like this 50s, 60s glam going on. And then this beautiful dresser is custom designed with De La Spada with hammer and spear. And these are actually really fun. These are beautiful wooden boxes made by a 100-year-old Japanese man, and he makes these beautiful wood veneer, and it just has like such a really elegant detail. Simple, but just beautiful. This is a piece by my dear friend Henry Kim, who makes beautiful ceramics, and it's called Hanyako. And so you just see this like really beautiful strié pattern in the marble that I think is so unique. And then of course the floral arrangements are like floral poetry. This is a beautiful lamp, and I chose this because when I was shopping with my clients in LA, we were in Apparatus at the beautiful showroom in Hollywood, and she fell in love with this light fixture. So I custom designed this headboard, this actual whole bed. The client needed a space to keep your suitcase. Where do you keep your suitcase? That's always a question. I keep it in my closet at home, but for her, we kept the suitcases underneath this area. So I built a platform bed that allowed for her to keep her storage and belongings inside. And then these bedding is done by my beautiful friend Lisa of Viva Luxe, and she does custom bespoke bed linens where it's Italian manufactured, and it's just the most elegant bedding you could possibly find. The most luxurious thing to waking up and putting your feet down on earth when you get up is a beautiful Mongolian cashmere rug that is just so sumptuous for your feet when you wake up, and it's done by Mark Phillips, and it's this beautiful kind of a dark teal moody color. I would say that this project really resulted in a multitude of space, and also allow people to come and stay here because it's not too precious, it's very durable, and it feels inviting and cozy. My clients are so thrilled about the end results. They feel so at home. Is really truly a representation of her and her personality and her life experiences kind of all wrapped in one. You know, it just feels like really elevated, you know, just like her.